Hello, my name is Kevin Rhodes. This channel is about helping leaders innovate by design. Hey, what is design? Have you ever stopped and tried to figure out actually what that word means? When we say we design something, or that I'm a designer, or when we use design strategy, have you ever thought about what that word design means? Yeah, I probably think about the definition of the word too much. I have struggled with it over the years, and I have struggled with trying to articulate what it is design is and the value that design brings to the table. But I think there are three things that are important for the way that I understand design and the way that I communicate design. And these three things have kind of morphed over the years in my own understanding of design. Of course, I don't have the only definition of design. There are a million different definitions out there. And I think that's part of the reason that I struggle with design, is that depending on who you ask, you might get a different definition. So one really popular definition of design is the expression of intent. Meaning I intend to do something and I put that into action, and that is the result of that is design. The problem with that particular definition for me is that it is just way too broad. If it's the expression of my intent, that's almost all of the human experience is then design. If I intend to do something and I do it, that is somehow design. That might be a helpful definition for some, but it is not all that helpful for me in understanding what it is and how to use it, and how does that distinguish itself from other disciplines. Another really common definition I hear is this notion of anything that we do to just help other people. Make their lives better, or just the act of helping someone else. I don't find that definition all that helpful either. And it's again, there are a lot of things that I do or that people do to help or make life better that just don't fall into design. And there are things that we do with design that actively make life worse, and even intentionally. So I don't fully buy into that notion of design either. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got folks that want to define design as the thing that I make, or the pixels I put on a screen, or the ink I put down on a piece of paper, the artifact that I design that gets manufactured, the act of like a craft or a discipline as design. And on one sense, as a designer, I fully appreciate that. And then I also struggle with sometimes that's just really limiting, because I practice design in more than just ways that are aesthetic. So, like I said, I think there are three things that help me understand design, and I'm going to share them with you. Hopefully they help you understand design a little bit better. Before we jump in though, if you haven't already, hit subscribe. This is a new channel, and I'm trying to figure out what content's helpful and useful. And if you find that this content's helpful, hit subscribe, and hit the thumbs up on this as well. So let's jump in. Three things. Let's build on this notion of expressing intent, because I think there's some helpful aspects of that. But I'm going to layer on three things on top of that I think will help give us some parameters for understanding design. These three things are, first and foremost, people solving a problem with a set of constraints. Those three things to me are important for understanding design. So let's break that down a little bit. If design is solving problems for people, that means it's not solving problems for necessarily the material world or computers. That discipline, that problem-solving discipline, in my definition, is a really good way to understand engineering. And those are critical differences. There are valuable skill sets for both design and engineering, both towards solving problems, but just aimed at different things. So that's to me the first kind of big distinction between solving a problem for people. Again, with constraints. So the constraints piece is important because there are lots of creative exercises that you can employ that aren't bound by constraints. I wouldn't say that those are necessarily design exercises, though. They're just exercises in free thinking or creative thought. Design is focused on not only the problem we're solving, but who we're solving it for, but can we actually solve it? Are these things that we can actually do with the set of constraints that are given to us as designers? And maybe those constraints are budget, maybe they're time, maybe they're the capabilities of a material. Maybe the constraint is imposed by the sustainability of the business model that we're trying to operate in. All of these things inform what design can do and how we can express it. If you take constraints out of the picture, I don't think it's design anymore. It might be creative exploration, and that might be worthwhile, but I wouldn't call it design. In the same way, if you take out solving a problem, if we're just expressing ideas, even if there are things that we can build and put together, if the problem's not a part of the picture, then it doesn't feel to me like it's design. And of course, if you take the people out, even if we are solving problems with a set of constraints, if it's not directed towards people, it's probably another discipline. There you are, people, problem, constraints. I think those are three critical pieces of understanding design. I would love to hear what your definition of design is. Leave a comment below. And if you haven't hit subscribe yet to this channel, please do so. Hit the thumbs up if you found this helpful, and check back on this channel soon for more content like this. I don't know, let's see if any of this is in focus.